area of a sector, you need to know two things: the angle and the radius. So your formula would be area equals the angle over 360 times pi, and what's the radius of this circle? What's our radius? 11. Go ahead, type that in your calculator. I guess we could do number 2. It's pretty easy. Type that in your calculator and see what you get. Anybody need a calculator? All right, so when I type it in, 75 over 360 times pi r squared, hit the button above enter. Raise your hand if you got this answer. Something close to that, 79.1 or 79.2. Okay, so that's the area. Let me go ahead and write it up here. All right, let's go ahead and do number 2. So this time, this is the slice. This is the slice that they want us to find the area. So we're going to take area equals the angle. What's the measure of the angle for that slice? The angle. 225. And we're going to multiply that by pi. And the radius is 18. Go ahead, type that in your calculator. And you should get something close to 636.2. And this is miles squared. Or as long as you have the 636, then we're good. Okay, any questions? So now let's go to our note packet. Yesterday we learned about a prism. So that's not what you have on your desk. The main thing about a prism, everybody look up here, is that if it's a prism, you have the same shape on the top and bottom. Okay, that's a prism. So let's go to, we'll do the cylinder first. A cylinder is a special kind of prism. So take out your note packet and go to page 4. That's the pink packet. Go to page 4. So this is a cylinder. And if you look in your notes, we had the formula for cylinder on page 2. So go back and look at page 2 in your notes, and that will give you the formula for surface area and lateral area of a cylinder. So in order to find, this is only asking us to find the surface area. So surface area of a cylinder is equal to 2 pi times r times h plus 2 pi r squared. That's your formula. You don't need to memorize these formulas. They will be provided to you. What's the radius of this cylinder? What is R? So Leah, what's R for this cylinder? 3. And Steven, what would the height be? 9. So we're just picking up our calculator and we're just typing it in. So we have 2 times pi, and then I have times 3 times 9 plus 2 times pi times 3 squared. Take a minute, type that in your calculator and get your surface area. Surface area is how much it would take to cover the entire cylinder. Lateral area only goes around the sides. Juan, what did you get?
226.2.
Yep. Anybody else get 226.2? And then this would be inches squared. And that's it. Any questions about how we did that? So for homework 1 that you got yesterday, which is due Friday, you should have numbers 1, 2, and 4 finished. All right, so now let's go back to page 3. Page 3 is also a prism. Okay, even though the prism is laying on the side, what shape do you see at the top and bottom of this prism? It's a triangle. Oh, can somebody open up the door? So the formula, let me write the formula for the prism. And it's only asking us for the surface area. So surface area of a prism, this is for a prism, is going to equal perimeter times height plus 2 times b. Now this stands for perimeter. That's what that P stands for. And when you're trying to find the perimeter, you just add up all the sides. But this B, that's the area. Now, who remembers how to find the area of a triangle? Anybody? I'm not going to ask you to tell me, but this is going to help me figure out what I need to provide for the final or the test. But raise your hand if you know the formula. I'm not going to ask you to tell it to me, but anybody know how to find area of a triangle? Okay. So, area of a triangle. I need some more space. I got to take this off. Is equal to 1/2 base times height. I'm not going to write that. I'm just going to say 1/2 base times height. That's how you find that. So I'm going to give that to you. Now, this question that we're working on, this is like number 4 on the homework. So we're kind of doing a homework question together. So we have our triangle. Let me go ahead. This is my triangle. Because we have these little hash marks here and here, that tells me all 3 sides are equal to 8. So I could put this 8 on all 3 sides. So this triangle, all 3 sides are equal to 8. So if I'm trying to find the perimeter, which is capital B, is going to equal 8 plus 8 plus 8. So go ahead and figure out what that is. So what did you get for perimeter? 24. Anybody else get 24? Okay. So this is your perimeter. Now to find the area of the base, that equals 1/2. This number is the base, and this number is your height. So it's 1/2, 8 times 3. All right, go ahead and type that in your calculator and see what you get. You should get 12. Who got 12? Okay, so now we're ready to fill it in. So the surface area is going to equal capital P. And what's capital P? What do we figure out the perimeter was? 24. We're going to multiply that by the height. So the height is how tall the prism is. So remember, this is a prism because it has a triangle at the top and the bottom. Both sides, both ends have a triangle. The height is how long. So the height is 12. So 12 would go here.
So for base with triangles, you don't square it after you do the 1/2, the base height, and then...
Nope. Yep, you don't have to do that. First, you got to find the perimeter, and then you have to find the area. And now we're just substituting in these numbers. So this is P. This is H, this is B. So we figured out that the perimeter is 24. The height is 12. And that's plus 2 times the area of your base, which we figured out is also 12. It just happens to be 12, both of them. So type that in your calculator just like that. And I got 312, and it's always the unit squared. Who had that answer? Okay, so if you look on your desk, I passed around the new shapes. How do we know this is not a prism? What's the main thing it's not on all the desks, but is it the same shape at the top and bottom of that prism? Can you turn it and will it sit up on both sides? If you try to take that and flip it upside down, is it going to sit up straight? It's not. So that means this is called it could be a pyramid or it could be a cone. So go to page 4 and fill in the formula for a pyramid. It's a different formula because I can't turn it upside down. It's a different formula. So if the base is not a circle, some of you all have cones and some of you have pyramids. If the base is not a circle, we call that a pyramid. And we need to know 3 things. We need to know the perimeter of the base, the area of the base, and then the length of the slant that would be going up the side of that pyramid. So I'll give you a minute to copy this down, and then we will work through finding the lateral area and surface area. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So for your pyramid, hold it up if the base of your pyramid is a rectangle. Or a square. Who has a pyramid? Just hold it up if the base is a rectangle or a square. All right, hold it up if the base is a triangle. Okay, that's important, okay? If your base is a rectangle, we have a different formula than it would be for a triangle. So that's the first thing you want to do, is identify what the shape is on the base. So let's look at this one here. Same page. What shape do we have at the base? What is this? It's a square. Does everyone see how the base is a square? So the first thing we need to do is find the perimeter. Perimeter, that means I'm going to redraw the base. So this is the base. If this side is 20 and this side is 20, that means that this side is 20 and so is this side. Opposite sides are the same. So the perimeter of the base will be 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. Go ahead and figure out the perimeter of your base. Cortez, what you get? 80. Anybody else get 80? All right, so now to find the lateral area, we just need to take that and multiply it by the slant. This here, do you see how we have this little line that's going on the outside? The slant is always outside. That would be 16.4. So I'm not using that 13. That 13 is only there to confuse me because I don't need to use that at all. So the L value is 16.4. So to find your lateral area, just take the perimeter times the slant height. Go ahead, type that in your calculator. Oops, sorry, I left off something really important. Let me go back, make sure I did. Yeah, what did I leave off in the formula? What's this right here? 1/2. I left that off, so let's fix that. So lateral area, let me just rewrite it, would be 1/2 80 times 16.4. All right, go ahead, type that in your calculators. For the surface area, we need to know three things. We need to know the perimeter, which is still going to be 80. I need to know my slant height, which is still 16.4. But I also need to know the area of the base. To find the area of a rectangle, you multiply length times width. So the area of the base will just be 20 times 20. Go ahead and figure out what you get. Which you get 400. So now we're going to do our whole formula for surface area. Surface area equals the perimeter, which is 80, times the slant height, plus the area. Oh, and I keep forgetting to put that 1/2. Let me put that 1/2 in there. Sorry, let me start over. It's 1/2 times the perimeter times the slant height plus the base, the area of the base. Go ahead and type that in. Almost finished. I know it's a lot of formulas. So you should get 1,056 meters squared. Who got that answer? All right, for your pyramid, hold it up if the base is a circle. Who has a pyramid that has a base of a circle? Does anyone know what we call that? Because we don't call it a pyramid. A cone. It's like an ice cream cone, right? So the formula for your ice cream cone, go to page 5. Let's go ahead and write it out. There's 2 things you need to know. You need to know the slant height and you need to know the radius. So take a minute, copy that down. Notice that the slant height is this number out here. It's not the number going down the middle. It's on the outside of the ice cream cone. So I need to know the slant height and we need to know the radius. Anytime we're talking about a circle, we got to pull in the radius. So that's your formula. And also anytime we're talking about a circle, we have to use pi, 3.14. So I'll give you a minute to copy that down. And we have one more question. And then we will end there for today. Anybody need more time to copy it down? All right, let's finish it out. So here, this 2.2 is L, and the 0.8 is your radius. All right, so let's go ahead. Can we all sit up for a minute? This is my last question, I promise. I'm sorry, I'm trying to make y'all learn and pass and graduate, but I only got one more question, and then y'all can go back and do what y'all want to do, okay? I'm just trying to, help y'all graduate. Okay, so lateral area, that's LA. That's going to equal pi times your radius. And what did we say the radius was? 0.8. And then the L is your slant height, which is 2.2. Go ahead and type that in your calculators. This is for an ice cream cone. Just the cone part, though, not the ice cream. All right, you should get 5.5 millimeters squared. Who got 5.5? Okay. Now let's do the surface area. So surface area, that's pi. Let me go ahead and just write it out. Okay, so in the first parentheses, I'm going to put the radius, which we said the radius was 0.8. The slant height is 2.2. And then again, because it's a circle, I have to include pi r squared. All right, go ahead, type that in. All right, and you should get 7.5 millimeters squared. All right, so now in your homework, go ahead, take out homework 1 real quick. Homework 1 is due on Friday. You have your homework. Okay, let me see. All right, I would like for you all, you should be able to do number 3 because we just did the ice cream cone. So do number 3. You could do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You could do everything except for the basketballs or baseballs, 6 and 7. That's the only thing we haven't talked about. And again, this homework assignment is due this Friday. For those of you who were absent yesterday, you can write the test date on your note packet in the front. We only have 2 more tests and a final exam for the remainder of this semester.